Knightstown has outdistanced, almost doubled their opponents in first downs this season. Knightstown has totaled 101, and their opponents only 53. They have got 18 by the run, 17 by the pass. And again, number of passes, Knightstown not needing to throw the football that often. Knightstown has only attempted 61 passes in 7 games, and their opponents total 110. So that's something that Knightstown has really not had to focus on, although, as you said, Knightstown has really started to come around with senior Eric Scheinman leading the troops, and he has started throwing the ball absolutely beautifully. And it looks like Knightstown's going to kick off to start this game. And obviously, Lapel must have won that toss.
Well, they must have, because that's not the way that Coach Willard normally plays it when we win the toss. But nevertheless, that looks like what's going to take place tonight. And I guess you're going to call this one for us.
Yeah, I'm going to try it. It's been a while since I've done this, but I appreciate you heaping this upon me and giving me this opportunity.
Listen to it.
Goes number 22, Michael Griffin. Also number 24, Matt Storm. Storm is a sophomore, Griffin a junior. And to do the kicking chores for the Knightstown Panthers, number 51, senior Kyle Rhodes. And this game is underway. Low-lining kick to the right side of the field. It's touched and finally rolls to a stop. And now it's picked up by Lapel. Fumble on the play. It's loose, and Knightstown's got it.
Big play by the Knightstown Panthers as they do what they've done all year. They converged on that football. They played with intensity. They created the fumble, and away we go. Knightstown on their 15-yard line, getting ready to take it against those Lapel Bulldogs.
Well, I guess the kickoff or the kick receiving really doesn't make much difference to the Panthers, does it?
Well, it doesn't. And Kyle Rhodes has been, out in practice, he gets that ball airborne. This is an intentional kick, this squib.
I was going to ask you if you thought it might be intentional.
Oh, I know it's got to be, because I've been down there and Kyle gets that ball up, but they're intentionally doing this, and it's paying off.
First and 10 for the Knightstown Panthers. First quarter just underway. Full house backfield with Hayes, Crawford, and also Johnson behind Scheinman. Scheinman awaits a snap from Quiz. First man through goes to Johnson. He goes over the left tackle, continues to churn, and Ryan Johnson is all the way down to about the 7, maybe the 6-yard line. We'll wait for the official spot.
Matt Storm in on the stop for the Bulldogs that time as he brings down Ryan Johnson.
So Johnson gets 8 yards on the carry, brings up a 2nd and goal for Knightstown. 11:30 to play, and once again, senior Eric Scheinman doing a fine job of running the troops as he has all season long. Here's the call. Scheinman takes a snap. Second man through is Johnson. He's hit at the line of scrimmage very hard and didn't even get back to the line, I don't believe. Number 72, Michael Bowman on the stop.
Boy, Bowman was in there hard and heavy that time. Big hit by that young man who's a senior this year. He's 6 foot, 185 pounds, and he looks like a muscle.
Looks like a lot bigger than that, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
Yowzer. 10:58 to play brings up a 3rd and 8 for Knightstown. And they still actually not a 3rd and 8, but a 3rd and a long 3 for Knightstown. Scheinman again under Quiz. Long signal count for the Panthers. He takes it, rolls to the right, gives to Crawford across the right tackle. And he's going to be near the first down for the Panthers. Inside the 5-yard line, down to the 4 goes Drew Crawford. And it looks like he's got enough for the first down, and he does.
Michael Griffin was in on the tackle for the Bulldogs that time. Griffin is a junior, 5'9", 152 pounds.
So Crawford gets the first down. It's 1st and goal for Knightstown. And the ball sits on about, well, we'll call it the 3.5, maybe the 4-yard line. Johnson and Crawford, the lone setbacks for the Panthers. Here's a snap. Crawford across right tackle, waltzes in from 4 yards out and scores.
Beautiful play there by the quarterback, Eric Scheinman, as he goes to his right, makes that handoff, and away we go with a Knightstown touchdown. So Knightstown here with 10:22 in this first quarter, up 6-0. So scoring fast and furious here at the Knightstown football field.
Have they come out of the chute or what?
Well, just like we were talking, the intensity they're playing with, these kids come to do it every Friday night. They put the chin strap on, and it's game time for them.
Josh Plank will line it up from the 15. The holder is Scheinman. Here's the snap. It's down. The kick is up, and major distance by Josh Plank. Somebody ate their Wheaties.
I think that ball came down in Charlottesville somewhere. I'm not sure, but, man, Josh Plank really putting the foot into that one. And as he's done here lately, with Scheinman holding that ball and getting it set quick, Plank is just right on the money every time he kicks that thing.
Well, that's a 4-play score for the Knightstown Panthers. And again, Eric Scheinman calling the plays. as he has every play sent in from Coach Don Willard and his staff. So just like that, Knightstown is on top.
And the big key, 10-22, and this is a 12-minute quarter. We score that fast, and it was just very, very intense playing by the Panthers.
Well, we'll see if Kyle Rhodes intentionally squibs another one. The last one worked out for him. Going back once again will be Storm for the Bulldogs, along with number 22, Griffin. And on the left side this time, and I can't quite see his number. It looks like number 31, and if that's the case, it's Chris Sears. So Sears, Storm, and Griffin back for the Bulldogs. They trail 7-0. Here's Rhodes. Another low liner goes to the right side. It hits Storm or Griffin. Back at the 9. He backtracks inside the 5. Now he's up to the 8. Crosses the 10, and he is converged on and driven back into the turf.
You know what? Nobody wants to get hit but these Knightstown players. They are so intense in the way they play out there. Ben Brooks in on the stop that time for the Panthers as he makes a big tackle along with Craig Ritchie in there.
Well, Lapel will try to take their first offensive possession just inside the 15. We'll call it the 14-yard line with 10:16 to play, and Knightstown's defense looks pumped and ready to go.
Knightstown playing with the intensity that we were looking for. Let's see how this defense does against this offensive unit.
Chad Kimmerly comes up to the line for the Bulldogs out of the tee. On an end around, Kimmerly keeps, rolls to the left side, keeps the football, and crosses the line of scrimmage, and by golly, he's close to a first down. Out across the 20 to about the 22.
Very, very close that time. I don't know if that play was intentional on that left end run or not, but it certainly worked for them. In on the stop for Knightstown, Jason Chapman.
Chapman on the stop, and Knightstown's going to watch the chains move as Kimmerly kept the ball on a quarterback rollout. And like you said, I'm not sure if it was a broken play or a design play, but nevertheless, Kimmerly picks up the first down. Out of the slot formation come the Bulldogs. This time they go again right up the middle. And the first man through is tripped up by number 75, Robert Crow, for the Knightstown Panthers. And Knightstown not wanting to give much yardage up across the middle of the line. And they haven't given up much all season, so I guess now would be a bad time to start with 2 regular season games left. But Knightstown very, very stingy on the defensive side. And we know what the scoring negatives are for their opponents, only 26 points so far this season. Number 43, Jordan Mullen, splits wide to the right. Once again, Kimberly out of a slot formation. Takes a snap. Quick pitch it comes to second man through. That's McDowell. McDowell tries to turn the corner and drags one of the Knightstown Panthers with him, and I believe that was Craig Ritchie who put the saddle on and rode McDowell all the way for another first down, so that's 2 consecutive first downs.
In on the stop that time, Ian Hayes to help along with Kyle Rhodes. But let me tell you something. When those backs get to churning for Lapel, they can flat go.
McDowell looked kind of slow, but they have him listed at 5'6", 136, but he must have tremendous leg power as he pulled Craig Ritchie and 2 other Knightstown Panthers for an additional 3 to 4 yards. Now the ball sits on the 39 of the Bulldogs. 1st and 10 with 9:02 to play. Kimberly long signal count. Again, they come to the right side. The ball carrier is Kepner. Kepner is hit, and it's a fumble. And I believe the Panthers have recovered, and Kepner was clobbered by number 42, Ben Brooks.
Jason Chapman in on the original hit along with Brooks. Great play there by those Panther defenders.
That's the second fumble for the Knightstown team as they have their second consecutive takeaway.
8:52 left to play, and Knightstown once again taking over this football in this first quarter of action. And let me tell you, these kids are focused, and they are in shape for the Knightstown team.
Clock shows 8:52. Here in the first, Knightstown on top quickly, 7-0, and they're looking for more. Ball on the 37. Scheinman now out of the slot left formation. Hayes will go to the right in motion. Scheinman on a drop back. Looks to the left side. He's got Ritchie open. Ritchie's got it good. Out of bounds at the 26.
There's that pinpoint key passing that we've been talking about. Scheinman looks. Ritchie knows where he's going with it and catches it right at the out-of-bounds line.
Well, first down, Knightstown. Nice pass from Scheinman to Ritchie. It's going to be good for 12 yards. So the chains will move, and Knightstown quickly striking at every opportunity. Nice pass and a drop back by Scheinman. He's 1 for 1 on the night. 8:45 to play. Once again, Ritchie will wide out to the left. Here goes Hayes in motion to the right. I formation. Second man through is Johnson. Stutter step. gets hit the line of scrimmage and pulls 3 Bulldogs down near the 21.
Great running there by Ryan Johnson as he is brought down by Joel Everman, a senior for the Bulldogs. So Knightstown starting to move the football handily now against the Lapel Bulldogs as they take it up the field to them.
2nd and 5 for the Panthers. And once again, Crawford and Johnson going to get their workout tonight. Very big line for the Lapel Bulldogs. Ritchie wide to the left. Hayes once again in motion to the right side. The formation is the I. Scheinman on a drop back. Looks, tucks it under. Now pumps, and he's got some running room down to the 15, down to the 13-yard line is senior Eric Scheinman.
Eric Scheinman running a great pattern that time as he saw his receivers were covered up. He is tackled by Michael Griffin, a junior for the Bulldogs.
And as you will notice on our stat sheet tonight, I put Eric Scheinman down under the rushing column.
Well, you should, because that young man's been doing some rushing.
Well, he got 5 yards on that play. Brings up a 2nd and 5 for the Knightstown team as, once again, this time Ritchie will split wide to the right. Slot right is Hayes. He comes left. Knightstown on a quick pitch. Counter play goes to Crawford. He stays on his feet down to the 2-yard line.
Drew Crawford picking up some very valuable yardage and just hard-nosed football running there by that young man.
Pickup of 12 for Crawford as the chains will move, and we've got an injured Knightstown player.
Justin McDowell in on the hit for the Bulldogs. He's a sophomore. Let's see who we've got down out there. I can't tell.
You come over. Excellent time for Eric Scheinman to come over and converse with Coach Don Willard about their next play. And Scheinman's got to run 3 or 4 miles a night, just jogging from the huddle to the sidelines.
Eric didn't have to lift weights this year. He just jogged a lot.
Well, Crawford going to get up this time with the help of the coaches, and he will come out, and I think you're right. He's holding the old bread basket, the midsection. So he will come out, looks a little bit winded. Now looks like he might be holding his right wrist. Nope, it's the stomach.
It's the stomach, yes. Drew really took a hit that time as he was motoring down through there, and about 3 of the Bulldogs got in on him, but I think he'll be back here shortly.
Well, placing Crawford in the backfield is number 29, Landon Collop, along with Johnson and Hayes out of the T formation now for Knightstown. Scheinman awaits the snap from Quiz, goes to Hayes, and he is across the goal line, scored from 3 yards out is Ian Hayes.
That play was so quick, I was watching it through the binoculars, and Scheinman moved to his right, and here came Hayes across the left in front of him, and it was just a blur. Ian Hayes running a nice, just a crossback over to the left side of the line of Knightstown, while the line was pulling to the left for the Bulldogs, and caught them off guard and went in for the touchdown.
Well, that's the 2nd consecutive 4-play drive for the Knightstown Panthers. And once again, Josh Plank will put the ball down from the 15. Eric Scheinman will do the holding. And the last one, Plank had enough to reach, as you said, Charlottesville. Here's the snap. The hold is down, and this one's not quite as long, but it's still perfect. Plank splits the uprights. And now Knightstown jumps out to an early 14-0 lead with 7:50 to play here in the first quarter. And once again, it's a worm burner. It's a flag on the play. And it was way back at the line of scrimmage, or actually at the point of the kickoff, which was the 40-yard line of Knightstown.
Sure, we probably have an offsides or a procedure against Knightstown, so that'll back it up a little bit, and we're going to kick it again.
Yep, they'll back it up 5 yards, and this time he'll kick it from the 35. Left side, hits at the 20, 35, goes out of bounds at about.
No, it's
stays
still
in. Fielded by Jim McDowell as he turns back upfield, dodges 4 Knightstown Panthers, and finally is gang tackled at about the 30 and drags them out to the 32, but we've got flags galore.
Well, let me tell you something. Now, these kids from Lapel are some hosses. That young man carrying that football just took 4 Panthers down the road with him.
Corn-fed and farm-bred. These are farm boys, and they are well-built and well-put together. We've got a clip against Lapel, so that's going to negate a very good run back by the Bulldogs. And the officials will now confer with one of the co-captains, and this one looks like it's Joe Quiz. So they will mark 15 yards off should Knightstown accept the penalty, and I would imagine that they will.
Well, I'm sure that they're going to, and let themselves get a little bit deeper into that Lapel territory.
Out of the backfield for the Lapel Bulldogs, this time Kylie Kepner will line up along with the quarterback, Chad Kimmerly. And Kimberly not having much luck, although he did turn one up for a good 11 or 12-yard run on their first possession around the left end. But this time he's going to find himself in very deep territory, all the way back to the 17.5-yard line for Lapel.
7:40 left to play in this first quarter. Knightstown up 14-0.
Wide to the right comes Jordan Mullins. Kimberly now waits for the official signal. Slot formation. Here's Kimberly on a roll. Hands off. It goes to the left side to Kepner. Kepner turns the corner and runs right over one of the Knightstown Panthers at about the 22. Falls forward to the 23. And the man on the bottom of the pile is the smallest man out there. It's Craig Ritchie.
Craig Ritchie in on the stop, but don't let the size of that young man bother you.
I told you. He's just like his grandfather. He'd tackle a truck.
Well, Dick could bring down a truck.
Well, I'm not going to touch it, but that's enough. 2nd and 4, pickup of 4 for Kimberly, or Kepner rather. Chad Kimberly, the quarterback again, up to the line of scrimmage. Knightstown start to position themselves. It looks like an end around, and again it goes to McDowell. McDowell strings it out and goes out of bounds shy of the 25 at about the 23. A lot of running for only 1 yard.
Ben Brooks in on the stop for the Knightstown Panthers that time, picking up his second tackle on the evening. He and Chapman both have 2 tackles. Crow, Rhodes, and Ritchie have 1 apiece.
Also Kyle Rhodes and Ryan Johnson there to help on the bring down. So it brings up a 3rd and 5 as he picked up a whole yard after running about 18.
Yes, he certainly ran a long way to get that 1.
Went a lot of horizontal, but didn't go vertical, did he?
No, he did not.
3rd and 5, 6:28 to play in the first. Wide to the right comes Mullins. Kimberly again waits the snap. Quick pitch, it comes to the back. This time it turns it upfield. It looks like it's going to go to Sears, and he is going to be very near the first down. Quiz thought they stopped him, but it's going to depend on the spot. It looks like, well, I can't tell where the official is standing and where the chain is. It looks very close.
Jim Carmichael in on the hit that time to bring down the ball carrier.
Up the officials say first down, so he did have enough. So on the carry, Chris Sears picks up 5. That's exactly what he needed, and that's what he got. Knightstown giving up some yardage, but so far it really hasn't hurt them as the defense has risen to the occasion. But right now, Lapel kind of in that offensive mode, and they're being ran quite handily by Chad Kimberly.
Clock at 5:50 and counting here with those Panthers still up 14-0.
Kimberly once again up to the line. Out of the slot formation, number 22, Michael Griffin will line up on the right side. Double tight end. Now Griffin goes in motion. Kimberly on a drop back. Here's the pressure, and he is nailed by number 52, Joe Quiz.
Big hit that time by Joe Quiz as Kimberly did not see the train coming, and he's down.
Yes, he is, laying flat on his back at the 20, and Quiz planted him, and Kimberly looks like he might have had the wind knocked out of him. Quiz came from the backside, and he was never seen by Kimberly. On this side, excellent pressure by Knightstown as Crawford was in the backfield. Kimberly sidestepped him, but he couldn't get out of the reach of Joe Quiz. And in the pregame, I don't think we talked about it, but you know who took over the tackle for losses in the area?
Who did that?
Ben Brooks. Ben Brooks has 15 on the season, followed by Chad Beaver with 13 for Tri-High.
Well, Joe Quiz just put a hit on the quarterback for Lapel that was just merciless, and nothing bad about it at all. It was a hit that had to take place, and Joe Quiz bring him down, and down hard.
Actually, it wasn't Kimberly. It was Matt Storm that got popped. Storm yards.
The Knightstown Panthers all ready for that offensive unit to bring it to them as they're lined up and waiting the action here.
Kimberly back up to the line of scrimmage. Once again, slot formation to the right. Knightstown waiting to snap. Here's a handoff on a reverse. It goes back to number 22, Griffin, and he is out across the 30-yard line, and he's tripped up, luckily, once again by Craig Ritchie as he got a hand or a shoestring tackle. Nice running by Griffin on the reverse.
Yeah, that was a terrific fake by the quarterback for Lapel because even the referees down there through the goggles here couldn't tell where it was.
We only got 9 yards on the reverse, brings up a 3rd and a long 8. And we are yet to see Lapel put the ball in the air, but this could be a golden opportunity as Knightstown's got to be aware of that. Wide to the left this time, go the Bulldogs. Here's a quick pitch. It goes to McDowell. He turns the corner, and he is stuffed and very, very fortunate to get back to the line of scrimmage, if that.
Joe Quiz in on the initial hit, which slowed him up. Ben Brooks came over to help out then, and then a slew of the Knightstown Panthers just came on him.
And look who's on the bottom of the pile, number 16, Craig Ritchie, once again. Ritchie coming up from his safety and defensive back position to help make the tackle, so it brings up a 4th and 8, and an obvious punting situation for Lapel.
I see Drew Crawford back out on the field playing again now, so he's in fine shape and ready to go now.
You knew he wasn't going to stay off long.
No.
Can't keep that young man down.
Looks like Ian Hayes back for the Knightstown Panthers, getting ready to receive this kick.
So Knightstown will get the football back with 3:42 to play. The Bulldogs are back. Here's a punt. It looks like it's going to be a low kick and a good roll for Lapel as Hayes will field at the 35, turns it up to the 40, spins, goes across the 45, stays on his feet to the 50-yard line, and he picked up 7 yards on his own.
Michael Bowman in on the stop for the Lapel Bulldogs, but a great, great run and some nice moves by Mr. Ian Hayes.
Nice punt by Jim McDowell to get the ball to the right side and looked like he was going to take a lapel roll. Hayes fielded at the 40, turned it upfield all the way back to the 50, so a good 10-yard return for Ian Hayes. And the Panthers will start on the 50-yard line with 3:28 to play in the first, and they lead 14-0 on a very cool and crisp Friday night from Knightstown.
Yes, it is.
Ritchie goes wide to the right. Out of the slot is Hayes. He's in motion to the left. Second man through is Johnson, and he turns the corner. He's got a head of steam, spins, and does not get back to the line of scrimmage. Nice play in the backfield by one of the Bulldogs.
You know, this Knightstown line offensively is really starting to physically hurt the Lapel Bulldogs. One young gentleman there just got bit hard is Michael Griffin for the Bulldogs, and he took himself out.
Carl Zink on the stop for Lapel, and Johnson just couldn't turn the corner as he had a head of steam, but ran out of territory to do so, so he loses a yard. It should be 2nd and 11. Knightstown once again up to the line of scrimmage, and the officials blow the whistle. We've got an officials timeout as Craig Ritchie is having some equipment problems. On the night, Ryan Johnson has rushed 3 times for a total of 11 yards. Drew Crawford twice for 16 yards.
Well, the Knightstown Panthers really playing hard-nosed football again this evening, as they have every game this year.
One wide receiver in the ballgame. That's Craig Ritchie. He'll go to the right side. Out of the slot formation once again are the Knightstown Panthers. Here's a handoff to Hayes. He turns the corner. He's across the 40, on the 45. He's off to the races. And he's caught and pulled down at the 24-yard line from behind by one of the Bulldogs. And it looks like
the tackle was made by Carl Zink that time as he comes up limping and really walking gamely out there. I'm sure he'll be headed to the sidelines also.
25-yard run for Ian Hayes, and that's the way that you like to do it on a misdirection play. Hayes came off a left tackle and found a huge hole, lost his footing and was tripped up, regained it, and stayed on his feet down to the 25-yard line of the Lapel Bulldogs. 1st and 10, Knightstown. Scheinman under center once again. Takes a snap. Johnson's got it across the 20, stays on his feet down to the 23, down to the 22, and continues to roll.
Ryan Johnson brought down by Kylie Kepner.
Johnson all the way down to the 18, maybe the 17-yard line. We'll spot it at the 18. Pickup of 6 for Ryan Johnson.
Well, these Lapel Bulldogs are really taking a beating out there this evening off of our line. The young man I was alluding to just took himself out of the cane, Carl Zink, and he's hurting over there on the sidelines.
They'll put the ball down on the left hash marks for the Panthers. 2nd and 3. Out of the T formation this time comes Knightstown. Here's the snap. It goes to Crawford. Crawford's across the 15, stays on his feet, and goes out of bounds at about the 13.
Crawford pushed out of bounds that time by Jim McDowell as he was trying to turn the corner around the left side and take it into the end zone, but still picking up some nice yardage for the Panthers.
1st and 10, Knightstown. Crawford picks up 4.
1:22 left to play here in this first quarter. Knightstown up 14-0.
Knightstown doing a very good job of mixing up the play calling. And Lapel yet to figure out exactly what Knightstown's direction is as they run left, right, and straight up the gut. Out of the eye this time. Scheinman brings the troops up to the line. Takes a snap. First man through. Second goes Johnson. He spins, falls forward, down to the 10.
Johnson brought down by Sean Zink. for the Bulldogs.
Ryan Johnson picks up 2 yards on the night. And Crawford's only touched the ball 3 times. Kind of surprising. Maybe they want to get Johnson some work this game.
Well, it could be. And, look at those Bulldogs out there. This is an unhappy bunch. They feel the pain from this Knightstown offensive line unit. And I'll tell you what, I think they've had enough already of that.
Coach Woody Field said he thought Knightstown had no chinks in the armor. Scheinman on a straight drop back, looks to the right side, puts it in the air. Richie's there, touchdown!
Beautiful, beautiful pass play from Scheinman to Richie, and let me tell you, Eric Scheinman is on his football game, buddy. He has got a terrific receiver out there in Craig Richie, but Mr. Eric Scheinman has really come on from the last 2 years.
No doubt about it. Pretty pass from Eric Scheinman, 10 yards out to Richie, over the defender's outstretched hands. And Richie just hauled it in, and that's Craig Ritchie's 3rd touchdown in 2 games.
Ryan Johnson coming out and receiving accolades from his teammates from the fine running that he's displayed.
Josh Blank perfect on the night for the point after attempt. It's down, it's good, and it's up. And the official is slowing, giving the signal, yes.
That was a squib kick.
Yeah, it was. Maybe Kyle and Josh have been working together, huh?
42 seconds left to play in this first quarter, and the Knightstown Panthers up 21-0 and just playing hard-nosed football that they know how to do.
This one, it goes to Griffin Size. He picks it up at the 20, now the 25. He's hit at the 30, stays on his feet, breaks a couple of tackles, and gets out to the 35-yard line. And we've got some extracurricular activity between Craig Ritchie on the far side of the field and number 40, Joel Everman.
Andy Hamilton in on the stop for the Panthers that time.
Well, Knightstown will take over. Actually, Lapel will take over on their 34.5. And I wish I'd quit spotting this thing in between the hash marks. We'll call it the 35. And the officials will get a new dry ball. There is some moisture on the field. We were down during pregame, and the field is wet. But you haven't seen any problems with footage as of yet.
No, you haven't. Everybody's been holding their own on both sides of the ball.
Chad Kimmerly up to the line of scrimmage. Hands to the second man through. Knightstown converges at about the 36, maybe the 37.
In on the stop that time for the Panthers, Landon Collip getting in there and getting into the tackling category.
Ball carrier was Jim McDowell, so Knightstown giving up 3 on first down, brings up a 2nd and 7. And Lapel's going to be rushed to get this play off with 9 seconds left in the quarter. They'll take their time. Out of the slot formation to the right. Kimberly gets the snap. Second man through is McDowell. And he falls up to the 40, maybe the 41. And quarter number 1 has expired here, but we'll get a legal ID. In fact, Corey, if you're there, let's go ahead and play the legal ID right now as we've got a break in the action. Go right ahead. Well,
you're listening to Knightstown Panther football on Young Country 90.7 FM, WKPW Knightstown.
Thank you, Mr. Nealis. We are back at Knightstown. The Panthers on top, 21-zip. And we saw Coach Greg Miller, the basketball coach from Knightstown, walk by. And kind of hard to miss at 6'8", isn't he?
Yes, he is. He kind of stands up and out in the crowd.
No doubt about it. So Lapel will take over, facing a 3rd and 3. And on the pitch, coming wide to the right side, is Matt Storm. He's run out of bounds at about the 42. Taken out by Ryan Johnson and Landon Collip for Knightstown.
Landon Collip over there just eating up territory, buddy. He's wanting to get to somebody.
You know, Collip's one of those that not afraid to flat-out tackle you. Landon Collip, unfortunately, is going to, well, I shouldn't say fortunately, he's going to be back. He's only a junior, but he's one of those that just will flat-out not back down. We saw it on the basketball floor last year. Not afraid of too many things.
Well, the Knightstown Panthers are really showing their conditioning this evening as they're taking it to these Bulldogs, who I don't think want much of this action already.
Now Matt Storm will line up as a quarterback for the Lapel Bulldogs. Quick pitch, it goes to number 82, Alfred Seguid.
Ian Hayes in on the stop for the Panthers.
And he's all the way out to the 45-yard line. And if I'm not mistaken, let me double-check something here. Seguid hurt his ankle last week, but he doesn't show any signs of it. You don't see him limping or anything.
No, he's running pretty good.
Yes, he very well, I'd say. Well, Lapel mixing things up in the backfield as both Storm and Kimberly playing quarterback for Lapel. 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs. Ball sitting on the 45 of Lapel. Storm on a delayed handoff. It goes to Kepner. Kepner is hit right at the line of scrimmage by a host of tacklers. And on the bottom of the pile, looks like number 52, Joe Quiz, along with 51, Kyle Rhodes.
Joe Quiz in on the stop that time, no doubt about it, as he and Rhodes are there to greet the Bulldog and let him know that they're ready to play a little D.
Well, he got about a half a yard, so we'll call it 2nd and 9 for Lapel. Knightstown very stingy across the middle of the line, and something that they've been very good at this season has been containment to the outside. Once again, Matt Storm lines up under center. Wide to the right, now in motion goes Griffin. Storm keeps it, turns it upfield on a broken play, is hit by Kyle Rhodes, and he's going to lose a couple of yards.
Kyle Rhodes making a big hit that time, following that football right up the line as he comes in and makes the stop.
Well, Storm looked to option possibly to the right side, but had to tuck it in and run up the middle, and Rhodes was waiting on him, so it brings up a 3rd and 11. Knightstown playing very, very well. Ritchie comes out. Adam Bonowitz comes back in. And Bonowitz will line up at the deep safety for the Knightstown Panthers. Now the officials are going to say, my time once again. We've got some equipment failure. Knightstown on top, 21-0. 10:20 to play in the first half of action. If you're not here, you're missing a dandy, as Knightstown has picked up just where they left off last week. And they haven't missed a beat. 3rd and 10 for the Bulldogs. Storm takes the snap, being pursued, and he is going to be sacked all the way back at the 34-yard line.
Oh, let me tell you, sports fan, Ben Brooks put a hit on that man that time.
Well, that's number 16 on the season for Brooks. Loss of 11, so that brings up a 4th and eternity for Lapel.
Ben Brooks in hot pursuit that time, along with a couple of the other Panthers, and just nailing that Lapel player.
Knightstown's going to get the football back, and back to receive for the Panthers goes Ian Hayes. He'll line up inside the 37. Lapel not sustaining much of a drive as of yet. Here's a snap. Low snap. Gets the kickoff. It's high but short. It's going to hit at the 40 and take a bounce. Hayes will field at the 33, across the 35, and take it down at the 38.
In on the stop that time, Michael Griffin for the Lapel Bulldogs.
Knightstown doing a pretty good job. Ian Hayes just a couple of blockers away from breaking this. He's been close a couple of times. 5 yards on the return. So the Panthers will start their possession at the 38-yard line with 9:26 to play.
Knightstown looking very good this evening with 9:26 left to go, as Mike York says, in the second quarter, and up 21-0.
Craig Ritchie back into the ball game. He will split wide left. Out of the backfield are Johnson and Crawford. Hayes goes in motion to the left side. Here's a snap, cross-buck play, goes to Crawford. He's across the 40 out to the 45.
Drew Crawford running the ball and being brought down that time by Jim Fulmer.
Picks up 6 on the carry. And running very hard is Drew Crawford and Ryan Johnson tonight, as Scheinman's got the play already and back into the huddle.
Eric Scheinman really working hard out there this evening to keep this Panther momentum going as he hustles over immediately after the snap to help out with this next play.
Pick up a 6, brings up a 2nd and 4 for the Panthers. Once again, the ball is sitting on the 45. Johnson, the second man, throws across the 50, turns a corner, and he's out of bounds at the 30-yard line.
Pushing Ryan Johnson out of bounds is Carl Zink for the Lapel Bulldogs, but let me tell you, he is getting up slowly after meeting Mr. Johnson.
25-yard pickup for Ryan Johnson. That doesn't hurt the average at all. Goes out of bounds, they say, before the 30, so they'll give it a 32, so knock a couple off, give it a 23-yard pickup for Johnson.
Ryan Johnson making a nice slash move there, as we've alluded to all year, and this kid can really run when he turns it on.
That first step is so quick. A lot of times you hear that first step used in basketball, but in football, Ryan Johnson's first step is ablaze. Out of the I formation this time are the Knightstown Panthers. 1st and 10, ball on the 33. Scheinman takes a snap, drops back, looks right. He's got Ritchie in the flat, throws across the middle to Josh Plank, wide open. Touchdown, Knightstown from 33 yards.
Great fake that time. Eric Scheinman turned way to his right, looking out as if he was going to throw to Ritchie, and I think the play all the time was intended for the number 81, Josh Plank, for the Knightstown Panthers. Tremendous play here with 8:39 left to play in this second quarter. Knightstown up 27-zip.
Josh Plank, the recipient. Now he's going to have to kick the ball and get some wind in a hurry, huh?
Well, Josh Plank, as all of these Panthers this year, has just been playing tremendously, and these kids are out to win every game, and only that one that they're playing that night.
Here's a snap. It's down. This one's high and right down the middle, splits the uprights. That makes it 28-0 Knightstown. We'll take a 30-second timeout. You're listening to Knightstown Panther football on Young Country 90.7 FM. Cylinders cooking tonight. They're on top 28-0 with 8:39 to play here in the first half of action as the Panthers have scored on consecutive drives. Crawford has scored from 4 yards out. Hayes on a 3-yard run. Scheiman's got 2 touchdown passes, 1 to Ritchie and 1 to Plank. And that atones for the 28-0 lead over the Lapel Bulldogs. Once again, Kyle Rhodes will kick it hard down the middle of the field. This time it's picked up at about the 32. Number 24, Storm's got it. Storm around the right side, and he is gang tackled at about the 44, maybe the 45-yard line. And that's where the Bulldogs will start their possession, just shy of the 40. And they'll call it the 44. We'll call it the 45-yard line. So that's where Lapel will take over. 1st and 10 with 8:32 to play. As we said a minute ago, Ritchie on a strike from Scheiman, and it was a 10-yard reception with 42 seconds left in the first quarter. Knightstown not giving much up on the offensive or on the defensive side. Up to the line of scrimmage comes Kimmerly once again. From the quarterback position, he'll take the snap. Looks again on a reverse, the fumble on the field, and Knightstown's got it, I believe.
Yes, they have. Great recovery there that time, and let's see who's picking that up.
Jason Chapman.
Jason Chapman on the recovery for the Knightstown Panthers.
Chapman on the fumble recovery, so Knightstown gets it back just like that. And Coach Woody Fields has to be pulling his hair out.
You know, in all seriousness, I don't know that was a fumble. I think Chapman was back there quick enough he was on it.
He may have got a hand on it, but it looked like Kimmerly never put the ball in the arms. I don't know. I couldn't really tell. We were kind of obstructed, so Knightstown will get the ball back on the 30. And just like that, the offense has got to put it back on and get it back in gear. Eric Scheiman, the quarterback for the Panthers. Last man through is Hayes. He goes around the left side. He's got some running room. He stays on his feet and is taken out at about the 22, maybe the 21.
Taking out Ian Hayes that time was Justin McDowell for the Bulldogs.
So Hayes on a nice run around the left side. Looks like he might net. Well, we'll see where the official spot is. And they're not quite sure. Well, there we go. Finally, 8 yards for Ian Hayes. So on the night, Hayes has rushed the ball twice for a total of 33 yards unofficially.
Not bad for 2 kids.
Not bad at all. Not too shabby. 28-zip our score. Panthers on top. 8:22 to play in the half. It is senior night, and some of the seniors have already been honored along with their parents before the game. Full house backfield now for the Panthers. The up back is Johnson. He gets the call, goes right up the middle, and stays on his feet, continues to churn, and he is down about the 17, maybe the 18-yard line.
Ryan Johnson carrying that time, and Sean Sink bringing him down out there.
9 yards. 9 yards for Ryan Johnson, and once again having an outstanding night for Knightstown. And this running game is going to be hard to beat. I don't care if it's West Washington, Milan, bring them on.
Well, the Knightstown Panthers, as we've told you all year, are really a terrific team, and they are running that football this evening.
They will spot the ball just inside the 15 at the 14-yard line. Johnson out of the backfield goes left and stays on his feet and is taken down at about the 7, maybe the 6.
And on the stop that time, Michael Griffin for the Bulldogs.
So Johnson picking up good yardage, 6 on the play. Brings up 2nd and 4. Knightstown can actually still get a first down inside the 10 without crossing pay dirt. So the Knightstown Panthers not having much problem with running the football tonight. They've passed a couple of times. Scheiman is perfect on the night, 3 of 3. 2nd and 4. Crawford and Johnson in the backfield. Hayes out of the slot. Crawford gets the call, goes left, stutter step, stays on his feet, puts the head down and gets down near the goal line, and they say he's taken out of bounds at about the 2.
Justin McDowell in on the stop that time, and that young man's had all about that he wants of Drew Crawford.
No doubt about it. Crawford gets enough for the first down, so give him 4 yards on the play. 1st and goal, Panthers from the 2. Actually, they might have spotted it at the 1 almost.
Looks like it's just about the 1 yard line.
Pretty close. Looked like he went out of bounds at the 2, but they'll give him an extra yard, and we'll take it. Clock down to 7:05 and counting. Knightstown in a tight formation at the 1. And the officials throw the flag before the play can begin, and both teams kind of waiting to see what the call is, and with my guess, it's going to be against Knightstown.
That looks like what the plan is at the moment. Here we go.
Nope.
Offsides.
Yep.
Knightstown.
Offsides Knightstown. That was a mental mistake. Somebody lined up over the football too far in front of it. So with that, that's going to be Knightstown's second penalty on the night. And that's going to be a 5-yarder. So 2 penalties for 10 yards. We can live with those. So instead of first and goal, it's now 1st and 6. Actually still 1st and goal, but Scheinman under center once again, waits for the snap. The up back is Johnson. He gets a quick pitch around the left side. He's got blockers, and Ryan Johnson waltzes in from 6 yards out.
Never contested on that end-around run there to the left side as Ryan Johnson as he takes it in standing up. 6:42 left to play. The Panthers up 28-0 here at the Knightstown Panther Field.
Well, Ryan Johnson even kind of eased up a little bit, kind of waltzed into the end zone. So Knightstown pouring it on now, the point after to be attempted by Plank. He is perfect on the night at 4-4. So Josh Plank will set it up on the 15 as normal, and the holder will be Eric Scheinman. Here's the snap. It's down. The kick is up and on its way, and Plank is perfect.
Josh Plank really putting the extra points up for the Knightstown Panthers this year.
He scored 5 points all on his own.
That's right. 35-0 with 6:42 left to play here in the second quarter of action at the Knightstown Panther Field.
Well, this could be one of these games where a lot of the second and third string players are going to get a lot of playing time in the second half of action. Coach Don Willard, and very much like Coach Woody Fields, not one to run the score up. And with a 35-0 score, Knightstown probably going to let some other people get some experience, get some playing time, and you'll see some of the starters on the bench because, again, let's not take a chance of getting these young men injured as we head into sectional time.
No sense in doing that, as you're saying right there with this section.
Everyone has been a low line driver.
Start calling him Squibby.
This one's to the right side once again. It is chased by Lapel and goes out of bounds at the 33. Flags fly, so Knightstown will re-tee this thing and kick it over again. Actually, they're not going to kick it over again. They'll take it out of bounds.
That's some of the best field position Lapel's had all night off the kickoff.
No doubt.
I guess they should take it.
Well, they will take it and keep it after they'll mark it off. So Knightstown again kind of toying with Lapel here in the first half, 35-0. As we said last year, a very, very close game, 16-14 won by Knightstown. The previous year, 2 years ago, Knightstown losing to Lapel right here on this very field, 16-10. I remember that game vividly. 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs. At the line of scrimmage comes number 24, Matt Storm, under the center. Quick pitch, it goes to the right side. This is McDowell. McDowell looks for an opening, and he is wrapped up by Jason Chapman right at or near the line of scrimmage.
Jason Chapman with 3 tackles on the evening. Leading so far, Brooks has 4, and Ritchie has 3 tackles also for the Panthers. The 2 of them have 2 and 1.
He lost a yard on the play, and we've got a Bulldog down. And it looks like a right leg or a right ankle, but I can't see the number. I'm not sure if it was McDowell. I don't see him. The call, and actually good fake to Kepner. First man through got the football.
In on the stop that time for the Panthers, Joe Quiz.
And it looked like Seguid got the football as he came up the middle, picked up 4. Into the ball game, number 43, Jordan Mullins. And once again, Storm will call the play, break the huddle, and bring the troops up to the line. Wide to the left is Mullins. Storm awaits the snap. Quick handoff, it goes to number 34, Kepner around the right end. He's got a blocker. Nice tackle by Knightstown. Drew Crawford got him. And he might have got 2 yards out of it. Crawford saved what looked like a sure first down.
Craig Ritchie come flying up from the left side there and saw that the man was already down and just dove completely over top of him to avoid hitting him.
Well, they say only picked up a yard, so it brings up a 4th and 5. Going back to receive the punt are Ritchie and Hayes for Knightstown. Now, McDowell had been doing the punting, so let's see what they're going to do. In fact, they're not going to punt the football. they're going to go for it on 4th and 5.
So this is a very unusual play here with the way the rest of the plays proceeded.
And they're going to pick up the first down as Kepner keeps the football, gets across the 45 out to the 47, and they got enough for the first down. So nice play calling by Lapel that time. Knightstown dropping back to receive the punt, which never came, and Ritchie and Hayes had to run up, and if they had been closer before the snap, they might have prevented that extra yardage, but nevertheless, Lapel picks it up, and the drive will continue with 5:03 to play. Panthers on top, 35-zip, and it has been all Knightstown, as Lapel has never threatened here in the first half, but now they are starting to sustain a drive, and it's a good one.
Well, the Panthers are going to have to buckle it up here on this defensive side.
Storm on the snap, rolls to the right side, inside handoff, it goes to Seguid. He is hit, stays on his feet, goes across midfield down to the 48.
Ritchie, the first man in, really putting the pop on him and then taking him down. 52, Joe Quiz.
Seguid picks up 5. All the way down to the 48-yard line, almost the 47. So brings up a 2nd and 5. And the Bulldogs now starting to look very, very sharp. And Knightstown a little bit squeamish in the middle.
Well, that's true. Brooks, Ritchie, and Quiz each have 4 tackles. But this Knightstown team is going to have to buckle it up here. All of a sudden, there's a second wind out there.
Quick count goes to the first man through. He's taken down by Kyle Rhodes near or at the 45-yard line. And that was a quick count and a quick handoff. Before you know it, he was across the line of the opening quarter. Wide to the left this time comes Mullins. Storm up to the line, takes the snap, gives to Seguid. He is hit, fights for a couple of extra yards, and he's going to be near the first down as the ball comes loose. Kyle Rhodes has it, but they're going to say he was down.
I believe he's got the first down.
Yeah. He's got enough yardage for the first down. If the spot's where the official is, he's got it by a good half a foot. And they're eyeballing it, and they're going to call for a measurement. Evidently, our vantage point, it's right in front of us, and it looks to me like he's got it.
I'd say that he does, but maybe it's just a little bit of an angle we're at here.
Surely not.
Nope, he doesn't. Oh, unless they can get that chain.
No, he's got it. First down. Once they get it set straight on the back. Told you, first down. Wasted here 5 minutes, I told them.
I'll tell the official at halftime if they need any help where to find it.
That's right. It's amazing what binoculars will do, huh?
Yes. It's like my glasses. You look through the bottom part, everything's bigger.
1st and 10 for Lapel. The drive will continue from the Knightstown 43-yard line. Clock now starts at 3:20. Lapel trying to get into the scoring column here in the first half of action. Storm up to the line. Slot formation on the left side. Now in motion comes Kepner. Here's Storm on a drop back. First pass of the night thrown, and he is clobbered by Craig Ritchie, intended for Michael Griffin, and that's the way to play defensive back. That time Ritchie gave no leniency for Griffin, and he was there at the same time. Obviously, the ball was thrown over Griffin's head.
I have one word for that.
What's that? Ouch. Yeah. He'll feel that one tomorrow morning, won't he? Man, this is a tough sport. No doubt about it. Incompletion on the play stops the clock at 3:02. 2nd and 10. That's the first pass for Lapel tonight. Storm on a straight drop back. Had some time, but just couldn't make the connection. This time in motion, once again, comes Griffin. They go an opposite handoff. I believe Kylie Kepner, the ball carrier.
You know, the stop that time for the Panthers, Nick Roush on the stop.
Kepner down to the 43-yard line, and he got a couple of yards. Actually, they gave him 1, so it brings up the 3rd and 9. And that front 5 for Knightstown doing an outstanding job. Kyle Rose has been all over the field tonight, along with Quiz and Chapman, as Chapman will come out for a little breather. Ben Brooks will go to the left side. Josh Plank will go to his defensive end on the right side. Knightstown will dig in. 3rd and 9. Storm on a handoff right across the middle. A lot of running room as Seguid gets down across the 35 to the 34.
Hadn't been for Craig Ritchie, he might have been gone that time.
Seguid had good running to the left side that time, and now the officials are going to say, well, actually, Knightstown calls a timeout, so we will do the same thing. Let's take a 30-second break. Actually, let's take a 1-minute break. You're listening to Panther Football on Young Country 90.7 FM. So the drive will continue. Down at the 32, And now Knightstown having some problems stopping Lapel as they are moving the ball pretty handily. Seguid having a very good second quarter.
Yes, he is. Like I said, they've got a second win here on this Lapel team, and they're moving football.
Storm on a reverse. It goes to Seguid. Fumble on the play, and Knightstown looks like they may have it. They were there, but it might have popped out. But I believe the Panthers are going to come up with a football, and they do. But there's a flag on the play.
Joe Quiz picking up the football that time for the Panthers.
Flag on the play, and it's going to be against Lapel. Knightstown will decline, and they will take over possession of the football. And that time again, Lapel tried to run that reverse one too many times. Seguid tried to stick it into the bread box of Michael Griffin, and Griffin never had the handle of the football. And it pops right into one of the Knightstown players, so Knightstown will take over on the 34 with 1:53 to play.
Boy, you know I'd like a sandwich.
So what do you want me to say? Hi to the ladies in the concession stand,
Hi,
huh?
ladies in the concession stand.
You moocher. You beggar. You better take a sack lunch, because when we go down to West Washington, they ain't much down that way.
Somebody said they have to pipe air into the place.
Oh, my gosh. We don't even get me started.
Okay.
35-zip. Panthers on top as Shyman brings the troops up. Hayes will go in motion to the left side. Here's a snap. Shyman on a roll. Looks deep. Has time. Now tucks it in. Throws one out into the flat to Johnson, and he drops the football. Incomplete pass. Craig Ritchie was running down the right side. Looked like a timing play, and Shyman just couldn't get his feet set to throw the long ball as Ritchie ran by the defender, Carl Zink, but Shyman not having enough time to unload that time, so on the incompletion brings up a 2nd and 10.
The Knightstown Panthers wanting to get this crowd back into it as they're calling for them to lead a little cheering for them, but I think maybe the score is so one-sided that the audience is not watching the game totally right now. I think we're having a little bit of conversation.
2nd and 10 with 1:46 to play. Once again, Knightstown awaits the snap. Shyman on a drop, on a draw. This time it goes to Crawford across the 35, 40, 45, 50, 50 down to the 40. Crawford is taken down at the 39-yard line of Lapel.
Drew Crawford on a great run that time, being brought down by Kylie Kepner of the Bulldogs, but not before picking up some very valuable yardage.
27 to be exact, as Knightstown gets a big first down on Drew Crawford's 27-yard scamper up the middle on a draw play. Clock continuing to run down to a minute and a half. Knightstown breaks the huddle. Plenty of time as they drive this football inside the Lapel 40. Slot to the right goes Hayes. Ritchie will split wide to the right. I formation out of the backfield. Second man through, fake is Johnson. Here's Shyman on a drop back. Pass to Plank. Pulls it in. And Plank is down and out of bounds at about the 26-yard line.
Great fake that time by Eric Shyman to the first man through. Nice play by Eric Shyman, making the fake of that football and then throwing it down into that left side to Josh Plank.
Plank pulls it in for 13 yards as Knightstown has the ball now sitting on the 26 of Lapel, down to a minute 11 as Plank was able to get out of bounds and stop the clock. Looked like Josh was fully extended for that one.
Yes, he was.
Out of the eye once again are the Knightstown Panthers. The down back is Crawford. Johnson is the up back. Shyman takes a snap. First man through is Hayes, and he is across the 15 down to about the 13. And Ian Hayes across that line so quick, and excellent play faking by Eric Shyman.
Yes, it was, because half of the Lapel team and myself thought Drew Crawford had that football.
Excellent play by Shyman. He has just matured so well.
Well, you know, I was talking to his brother earlier in the year before the season started, and he said these camps that Eric's gone to this year have really helped him. And
well, I don't doubt it. You see the reaping benefits of that. Under a minute now to play. Knightstown continues from the 17. Shyman drops back, looks across the middle. Here's Hayes out in the flat. The ball is caught and bobbled. Hayes had it at the goal line, couldn't pull it in.
Ian Hayes trying to recover that bobble after it happened and still couldn't pull that ball down. Great effort there by Ian Hayes.
I thought he had it.
Nice pinpoint passing again by Mr. Shyman.
Well, Knightstown doing a good job. They've got 26 seconds left to try to punch this thing into the goal line and try to get another score. They're on top 35-zip already. And Shyman's been over and conferred with Coach Don Willard. He'll go back and get the calls, and now back into the huddle as they break and go to the line of scrimmage. Ritchie splits wide to the right. Hayes in the slot to the right. Tight end is Plank. He's on the left side. Here's a snap to Scheinman. They look to the right side, across the middle, crossing pattern. And wide open is Plank, and the ball is intercepted. Lapel's got it at the 15, now the 20. And he's taken down short of the 20-yard line, actually short of the 15-yard line. Lapel gets a reprieve, and Knightstown's not going to add to this lead with 16 seconds left. So
Justin Dolan on the interception there for the Bulldogs.
Well, Knightstown not looking very organized on that pass as Scheinman throws the interception, but again, didn't have much to work with. Looked like we might have had too many receivers in the same area. We had Plank and Crawford and Ritchie and Hayes, and Scheinman
bunched up over there.
Looked right and looked like he kind of threw across his body. His whole feet and shoulders were looking right, but he threw left, and Plank couldn't get to it. So on the turnover, goes back to Lapel with 16 seconds left. 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs. Storm up to the line now. Long signal count, takes a snap. It's not Storm. Back into the play quarterback was Chad Kimberly, and he throws an interception to Knightstown. Ian Hayes has got it, stays on his feet, and will run the clock out, and finally is pulled down at the 25, actually with 3 seconds left. Knightstown will call timeout. They're going to get time for one more play.
Ian Hayes had a chance to take that ball out of bounds. I think he thought maybe he could have a chance to stick it in the end zone.
Well, stayed on his feet, went to the left side, ran into a bunch of people, and brought it back to the other side, and next thing you know, he's down at the 25. So Knightstown will get one more chance as we get ready for halftime, and we've got a couple of guests in the booth with us, a couple of Knightstown cheerleaders we're going to be talking to, and also Coach Greg Miller, Knightstown varsity basketball coach, will come in and say a few things for us as he will be here shortly. 3 seconds left as Knightstown again gets one more opportunity. This is either going to be a knee touch or a Hail Mary, so we'll see what Coach Don Willard is. He is out on the football field now giving those last 3-second instructions to the Knightstown Panthers. Good crowd on hand, as we said. Once again, not quite as big as last week's, but very, very well supported are the Knightstown Panthers this season as they head into the final week of regulation play and then, of course, on into sectional. The true test will see exactly how many people follow and go down to West Washington.
That's not a test, that's a challenge.
Get me a chopper. That's all I want. I want to fly in, fly out, forget the drive, okay?
Okay, we'll try to do that.
Jeez, get me something. Just get
Look at this fence line down here, loaded up again this evening.
I know it.
Coming out to watch the Panthers play.
All right, one play. We're going to have 3 wideouts. Johnson, Hayes, and Ritchie will wide to the right. Scheinman's going to take the snap and throw up a Hail Mary. Straight drop back, and he puts one across the middle, and it's intercepted. No time on the clock left, but Lapel's got the football. Knightstown's in pursuit, and that's going to be the first half. Back at Knightstown. Knightstown on top. Very, very big, 35-0, as Panthers have basically owned the first half of action. Leading the way for Knightstown once again. It's been this way all season long. Ryan Johnson rushing 8 times for 57 yards. Drew Crawford 6 for 56. How much closer can you get than that?
Well, you know, the neat thing about that is passing it back and forth and keeping it that close, because there's no way that you can key on one individual player.
No, that's right. Ian Hayes also rushed 3 times for 41 yards. Eric Scheinman 1 for 5. Scheinman having a good half passing the football, 4 of 8 for 58 yards, and most of those yards have been to either Craig Ritchie or Josh Plank. Ritchie's pulled in 2 passes for 22. Plank's hauled 1 in for 13. Knightstown not being penalized much in the first half, only twice for 10 yards, and they lead 35-0. Knightstown scored very, very quickly on a 4-yard run by Drew Crawford early in the first quarter of action with 10:22 to play. Of course, the point after attempt was good by Plank. Ian Hayes on a 3-yard run with 7:50 to play in the first half. Again, Plank the PAT after that. Scheinman a 10-yard pass to Ritchie with 42 seconds left in the first. And again, guess what? Josh Plank gets the point after. Scheinman on a 33-yard pass to Josh Plank at the 8:39 mark of the second quarter of action. And finally, Ryan Johnson scampers in for a 6-yard score with 6:42 to play in the first half for a 35-0 lead.
Well, you know, leading in those tackles, number 16 out there for the Panthers, Craig Ritchie. And you know what? Glenn Maddox, his great-grandpa, just got home from the hospital today. Hi, Glenn. Glad you're home, and wish you could be out here seeing this little devil of yours run and tackle, because he's got 6 on the night. Also in on the tackling, Joe Quiz has 4, along with Ben Brooks. Chapman with 3, Rhodes with 3, and a slew of single tackles by the rest of that Panther defensive unit.
35 zip, as we said, it's been all Knightstown, led in first half by Ryan Johnson rushing, as he has totaled 8 rushes for 57 yards, and right behind him is Drew Crawford unofficially with 6 for 56. Eric Scheinman's had a good night, 4 of 8, 50% in the passing department for 58 yards, and basically Knightstown has dominated every category.
I have to take over for a second here while Mike York dries his eyes. Again, he missed catching the footballs that were thrown out.
I was so close.
Hey, let me tell you something.
Man.
Gray Auto Broker footballs being thrown out into the stands again this evening.
I was this close. I almost had one. Almost had one.
And you know what? I'll hear about this all the way to West Washington.
No, you won't, because I'll bring mine.
He replays the games. That's the problem there.
I'll bring mine.
Yeah, I gave him his own footballs because I knew he couldn't catch one.
2nd and 7. Knightstown on a drive. Hayes comes in motion to the left side. Second man through is Johnson. He is taken down in the backfield as soon as he gets the football. And Ryan Johnson might have lost a couple of yards. In fact, he did.
Joe Leverman in on the stop for the Bulldogs that time.
So Knightstown facing a 3rd and long 8. And in a tight game, this is what Coach Don Willard doesn't like, are these long 3rd downs, because he said everybody in the place knows what you've got to do, unless you've got a good running attack, which obviously Knightstown has. So you don't have to rely much on the pass.
No, this is option city right here for Knightstown. This really is a regular play for them.
2 wides to the right, and Hayes and Ritchie. Scheinman takes his snap on a draw. It goes to Crawford. Stutter steps. And Crawford's going to be held up short of the first down, but fights for an extra couple of yards. It's going to bring up a 4th down, but Drew Crawford got some of it back. He picked up 4 more. And he was not to be denied that time, as he just continued to drive with those very, very powerful legs. So the ball's just inside the 15 at the 14. 4th and 2. Scheinman's got the play from Coach Don Willard. You know, Coach is kind of the Dean Smith of high school football.
Well, he is.
He really is. This is what, year 31?
Mm-hmm.
And the Diener had what, 36?
Yes.
Wow. Coach catching in quick.
Well, he certainly is, but Coach Willard's really got this team rolling in the right direction this year.
4th and 2. We'll see if Knightstown can pick it up and try to punch this across. Johnson's got it. He's got the first down and falls forward. And he's across the 10 down to about the 7.
Ryan Johnson, again, carrying the football very well for the Panthers as he's brought down by Matt Storm. And we have another player, I believe, injured on the field for the Lapel Bulldogs. And conditioning, once again, paying off for these Panthers as they look like they've just come out for the first quarter of action here tonight.
Coach Woody Field has to be saying what else can happen, as he has had numerous players injured tonight. He's got a couple out because of the flu. And going into sectional time is not the time that you want to have injuries, because they're not going to heal in a week or two. It's going to be a nagging injury for the rest of this year. Nothing but rest and possibly some medical treatment. But his players and team have been banged up tonight as they trail Knightstown 35-0. Knightstown has scored all of their points in the first half of action, and they are yet to cross pay dirt here in the second. Crawford scored on a 4-yard run. Ian Hayes on a 3-yard run. Scheinman on a 10-yard pass to Ritchie. Scheinman on a 33-yard pass to Plank. And in the first half, Ryan Johnson scored on a 6-yard scamper. And, of course, Josh Plank has been perfect on all 5 extra points, which accumulate in total our 35-0 lead.
Kylie Kemper, the young man down for the Bulldogs, as they're still attending to him out there at about the 10-yard line.
Well, we hope nothing seriously is wrong with him. Do you remember a couple of years ago when the young man from North Decatur lay motionless for a long time? Very scary. And do you know, he was up and played the next week. Evidently, it was just one of those things momentarily, and we were so thankful that he was not injured seriously, because he lay motionless for a good 10 to 12, maybe 15 minutes. Finally, they brought the ambulance out on the field, loaded him up, and even during the loading process, he did not move.
No, he didn't. I really thought he was severely hurt.
And we are very, very glad that he wasn't. And it looks like Kentner going to get back up on his own feet and own power, so maybe it was a shot to the head. He looks a little woozy, and they'll walk him off, and a nice round of applause being given by the Knightstown faithful. That's always good sportsmanship.
And the Knightstown team playing with that sportsmanship, and it spills over into the stands as they're even on a bad call that we might think is a bad call this year, not as upset as things have been in the past.
All right, Knightstown facing a 1st and goal. And the ball sits on the 9-yard line. They'll wait for the officials to give the signal. 10:25 to play in the game. Knightstown not scoring here in the second half of action. Ritchie comes left this time. Full house backfield for the Panthers. Scheinman takes the snap. First man through is Ian Hayes, and he has... Well, the officials confirm. They say he's just short of the goal line, so he's down to the 1.
Ian Hayes just shooting through that line as he takes the ball from Eric Scheinman.
Notice how quickly, during the play, as soon as the play materializes, how quickly Scheinman gets over to Coach Don Willard, not to waste any time. And it's got to be very difficult. You've got to have a running clock in your head, I would think, to keep that 25-second play clock very accurate. 2nd and goal from the 1. Knightstown threatening once again. Hayes comes in motion to the left side. First man through is Crawford. He's got the touchdown.
Drew Crawford on a handoff over the left side for Eric Scheinman with 9:36 left to play in this 4th quarter. And the Knightstown Panthers score again as they are handily taking it to the Lapel Bulldogs this evening.
Well, this one was over very, very quickly as Knightstown came out with all cylinders clicking. Crawford gets his 2nd score of the night. First a 4-yarder, this one a 1-yard run. And guess who? Mr. Accurate will be back in for the point after attempt, Josh Plank.
Well, Josh kicking that ball super well this year as Scheinman gets ready to receive the ball and set it down so that Josh can put her through.
The snap is down, the kick is up, and Josh Plank missed it. Didn't get that one. We must have jinxed him.
Must have.
Doggone it. Well, that's all right. Failed, that's no problem. 41-0, Knightstown on top. Let's take a quick 30-second timeout. You're listening to Panther Football on Young Country 90.7 FM.
With 9:36 left to play, up 41-zip as they are handily taking it to these Lapel Bulldogs this evening, as I think Lapel early on in this game had about all of the hitting from these conditioned Knightstown Panthers that they wanted, and came back and played fairly well in the 2nd quarter, Lapel did, and I think the momentum of the 2nd quarter going into the half took the speed right out of them, as Mike York is steadily watching this game and getting it going here.
Oh, yeah. Kyle Rose will do the kickoff once again down the middle. It goes to Griffith. Griffith has it on the left side, turns and cuts, reverses his field, and is taken down by Landon Colliff at the 33-yard line. Good open field tackle by Colliff.
Yes, it was. The man turned and came right back at Landon, and he just lowered his body and took him out.
That's another classic example of Knightstown staying at home in their respective lanes and fields and area. Knightstown doing an outstanding job of containment once again, as they have all season long. So Knightstown will put up the defensive curtain from the 34-yard line. And back into play will be number 21, Chad Kimmerly, who will line up the quarterback position. They've been alternating between Kimmerly and also number 24, Matt Storm. Kimmerly on a quick pitch. It comes to Seguid. He is taken down in the backfield quickly by Jason Chapman. Chapman through the line of scrimmage and caught the much quicker, fleet-footed Seguid. And they throw him for a 3-yard loss. Nice play by Jason.
Jason Chapman coming in there uncontested and just wrapping up Seguid.
Heads-up play by Chapman. So on the loss brings up a 2nd and 14 as Knightstown now looks to try to get this one into the book and move on to their final regular season game next week against Eastern Hancock, and that game is over at Eastern Hancock. Second man through goes Seguid again. He's across the 35 to the 36, and on the bottom of the pile is number 75, Jim Carmichael.
Jim Carmichael having his 3rd tackle on this evening. We've got it wrapped up here. Ritchie has 7 so far. Brooks has 5.
Seguid looks like he is starting to favor that ankle just a little bit. He is limping profusely, but he's not going to come out of the ball game. Back into the game with a play comes 43, Jordan Mullins, as he will line up as a wideout. I'm not sure how much more Seguid can take. And you can see your breath.
Yes, you can.
39 for the Bulldogs. In motion goes Michael Griffin. Fumble. Ball is loose, and I believe Knightstown's got it. And they have, recovering the fumble, number 16, Craig Ritchie. That's the 4th fumble tonight for the Lapel Bulldogs as Ritchie comes up and cleans house on that one. So Knightstown will take over at the Lapel 40-yard line. With 7:45 to play, the Panthers on top handily, 41-0.
Yeah, I'll bet you're cold.
Oh, a little bit. A little bit. I'd be a lot colder if I didn't have my coat on.
Yeah, I saw that short sleeve shirt you had on the side.
Well, I like to think I'm a fair weather fan, but
you're a toughie.
All right, Eric Scheinman once again brings the troops set. Out of the slot formation as what Knightstown has run pretty much all night long. Scheinman on a quick pitch. It goes to Johnson, reverses his position, and he is pulled down from the back. Barely. Ryan Johnson was off to the races, and he has got a leg problem.
Justin McDowell pulling Ryan Johnson down, and bet Ryan got that leg doubled up under him, and then another player came down on it inadvertently, but still Ryan Johnson, one of the great running backs for Knightstown here, down on the field at the moment.
I hate to say this, but from where I saw it, looked like that was a major leg injury to Ryan Johnson. It looked like his right leg, his right shin was bowed. This doesn't look good for Ryan Johnson. Sometimes you can tell when it's not a real serious injury, but Johnson immediately tried to get up, and his leg would not hold his weight. So we'll wait and see that Ryan Johnson hopefully is okay, because Knightstown does not need an injury coming this close to the end of the season, heading into tournament play.
Well, even though we have 2 other running backs who are very handy at that job, this young man, Ryan Johnson, has come into his own for the Panthers this year as far as being able to, what we term be a slash runner out there. And we need this young man desperately, just if nothing else, for his attitude on this team, let alone the great play of football that he can accomplish for us.
So they've got the helmet off, and Ryan Johnson not moving a whole lot. Coach Scott Stanley is out there, and now they're going to try to get him up. And it looks like he might have taken a helmet right on the shin, and he's going to limp, and he's going to come out of the ball game, and that's probably all for Ryan Johnson tonight. If I were Coach Willard, I believe I'd sit him on the bench.
Well, I would too. We don't need to get Ryan really banged up, and you can really see him grimacing as he walks on that leg and tries to get the muscles in it working properly again. And now the trainer down there and Ryan both laughing a little bit, so maybe, hopefully, a bad stinger instead of a bad injury.
Well, I hope that's the case. And so Ryan will come out, take a breather as he will go to the bench, and the trainer's going to look at him a little bit. Now lining up in the backfield will be Ian Hayes along with Drew Crawford. Out of the slot, it's Craig Ritchie. Josh Plank will go wide to the right. Ritchie in motion to the left. Quick pitch, fake inside, fumble. Crawford's got it back for Knightstown. And that's the second time Drew Crawford has fallen on his own cough-up, and they get it back, and he might have got a yard or two out of it.
I think that handoff that time from Scheinman was just a little bit behind Drew, and he couldn't really find the handle on the ball because it wasn't into the gut.
Looked like Crawford might have lined up a little bit closer than what he normally does behind Scheinman, and by the time Scheinman turned around, Crawford was already through the opening, and as you said, might have hit him just on the hip. 2nd and 8 now for the Panthers. 6:40 to play. Handoff goes to Hayes. He turns the corner, cuts back in. It's Craig Ritchie, not Hayes. And Ritchie gets down to the 16-yard line, and all of a sudden Craig Ritchie has become a running back.
Jordan Lynch on the stop for the Bulldogs as Craig Ritchie able to advance that ball pretty handily against these Lapel Bulldogs.
Well, Craig Ritchie gets 4 yards on the play, so brings up a 3rd and 2. Knightstown will break the huddle with 6:11 to play and counting. Coach Woody Fields just wanting to get out of here without any more injuries, as the outcome is not in doubt, but the health of some of the players could be. Scheinman, long signal count, takes a snap, goes to Hayes. He's across the 10, down to maybe the 9. And we'll wait for the official spot. It looks like we may have another player down.
Matt Storm really upending Ian Hayes that time, going over the top of him.
It looked like Travis Rivers might be hurt there for a minute, but he's okay. So they will spot the ball just short of the 10-yard line, in between the 10 and the 11. So Ryan Johnson looks like he's going to get some ice bags applied to that shin area. And he'll probably feel some bumps and bruises come tomorrow morning.
I would imagine so, but Ryan Johnson, if at all possible, will be back out there next week for them.
From the 11, Knightstown first call, it goes to Ritchie, and Craig Ritchie over the 5, inside the 4. Craig Ritchie doing a nice job running out of the backfield. Looks a little bit like a duck out of water. Not accustomed to that, but he's doing a fine job. As Ritchie picks up 7 yards, and Craig Ritchie's got 11 yards on 2 carries.
Well, Craig Ritchie, quite versatile in his athletic ability, coming from one of those receiver or end positions and now running in the backfield.
Well, they've interchanged positions. Josh Plank will go to the wide out. Ritchie goes into the backfield with Crawford and Hayes is the up back. Crawford now has it, waltzes in, and touchdown, Drew Crawford from 4 yards out.
Drew Crawford with 4:51 left to play in this fourth quarter, taking Knightstown up to the 47-0 mark against the Lapel Bulldogs. Knightstown now we'll get to see if Josh Plank can get things wired back up here and get that kicking foot going again for that extra point to give us 48-0.
Well, 49's been the highest output, or out point. Let me back up. Well, it's been the highest score this year. Let's just call it that. Drop it. Be done with it. How about that?
That's real good.
Yeah, well, whatever. Plank is up, and this time he's back on track.
Got the boot into that one.
48-0. Knightstown on top. And Plank nails his 6th. He's missed once tonight. And 49 points is the most that Knightstown has scored this season. And I'm not sure if they're going to get to possibly go over that. Lapel will get the kickoff with 4:51 to play. Brian Johnson still on the sidelines being looked at. By the way, while we have some time, don't forget tomorrow in downtown Knightstown is Oktoberfest. And Oktoberfest, always a big time for a lot of folks. In fact, we will be there. We'll have a booth there. And we'll have the amazing Wheel of Fortune. You can come by and spin that. Take a chance to win possibly CDs, cassettes, T-shirts. Lord knows what all we've got. We've got a whole van full of stuff.
Well, I'll be down there to see you sometime.
Well, we'll be there. 4:51 to play in this one. Knightstown's going to go to 8-0. Lapel going to fall to 5-3, barring a miracle. Kyle Rhodes will kick from the 40 once again, and Lapel has been back in this position many, many times tonight. Back to receive is Storm. Dead straight away, and Kyle hasn't kicked the ball straight down the field all night, and it looks like he's going to go to the left side this time, and he goes to the right, and it's fielded quickly by the up man, which is Griffin. Griffin gets back to the 38, and is taken down by Knightstown. Josh Trotman into the ball game, and he makes the tackle, and they will spot the ball at almost the 39-yard line.
Michael Griffin going off the sidelines over there and immediately setting down. He gets hit and hit hard by the Knightstown unit, but that's just a hard-nosed play that these Panthers are playing out there this evening.
Knightstown doesn't do anything dirty, as they just get in and play good, hard-nosed football.
And again, I allude that to the conditioning that this Knightstown team is in. They're fantastic shape.
All right, from the 39, the Bulldogs try to get a drive mounted here with the last 4.5 minutes. Storm takes the snap, hands off to the first man through, and he is peppered and knocked back at the 40. Forward progress might be spotted at the 41.
Jim Carmichael on the stand-up, sit-down defense there.
The ball carrier looked to be number 10, Jordan Lynch. Or let me check that. Was it Lynch or was it Joel Everman? I can't see the number. Anyway, he's almost at the 42-yard line, so he picks up 2.
You know, one of the neat things, almost everybody on the offensive and defensive unit has been over here at the bench to check on Ryan Johnson to see how his condition is, and that's really neat.
Storm again, back to pass. Knightstown pressuring, forces him out of the pocket. He tucks it up and run. He's got a blocker. Across the 50, down to the 45, and he is nailed. Ian Hayes takes Storm head on all the way into the Knightstown bench. And little Ian Hayes, and I shouldn't say little, but he's only 5'11", 170. He put the helmet between the numbers.
Mr. Storm's just wondering if anybody got that license number.
Goodness gracious, I felt that up here. Nice run by Storm as he...
Yes, it was. Great run, but boy, did Ian Hayes stand him up and let him have it.
He paid the price for the first down. Out of bounds at the 3:56 mark, still 48-0. Panthers on top. Crowd starting to get a little bit rowdy as this may be the last home game of the season. Storm on a pass. Across the middle, it is incomplete. One hopper right into the hands of Adam Bonowitz back into the ball game. Second time he's made an appearance tonight as he's playing in the defensive safety position. You know, we talked about the last home game. If Knightstown beats West Washington, to get a home game here in the sectional, Edinburgh will have to beat South Decatur. Edinburgh hasn't won a game yet, so South Decatur is the favorite. So if Knightstown defeats West Washington, we still have to go to South Decatur to play. You figure it out.
Where's that located?
I have no idea. Storm on a snap quickly on an end around. It goes to Lynch, and he is taken down short of the line of scrimmage.
And on the stop that time, Kyle Rhodes.
Nice play by Kyle. He stops him short of the line of scrimmage. Actually, very generous spot. Now they give him the line of scrimmage, and that's all. So a 3rd and 10, and I really don't know where South Decatur is. I would anticipate it's south of North Decatur. In Greensburg. South of Greensburg. North of Greensburg. I thought that was North Decatur. I don't know where the heck it is.
It's out there somewhere.
Storm back, and he's not going to be able to get the pass off.
Oh, Josh Blank in on a great wrap-up there of Mr. Storm. And also, we have a Knightstown player down at the moment. Getting up now, and
looks like Joe Quiz might have
Joe Quiz hurt himself a little bit, but that young man's not. Well, now he's coming out. So
yeah.
Joe coming over the sidelines to get checked out here.
Well, Quiz going to come out and take a breather. Nice play by Joe Quiz as he throws Storm for a 10-yard loss. All the way back to the lapel 45. 4th and 20 now for the Bulldogs. And here's a punt going to be placed by Carl Zink. And going back to retrieve for Knightstown is going to be number 15, Ian Hayes. And I like to see Hayes pop one right here. Here comes the rush. Knightstown's got the bodies. We got a flag on the play. And Knightstown's going to let it bounce down to the 35, the 34-yard line. And Knightstown's got another player down. This time it's number 66,
Jason Chapman. Jason back up now.
All of a sudden, the voodoo dolls have been pulled out, and Knightstown's starting to come up limping here. We've got a motion, illegal procedure against Lapel. Knightstown probably going to decline it. You're going to see a whole new bunch of bodies in this time. Knightstown's going to pull all the starters, and you're going to see a bunch of people. We will try to get these names and numbers to you as quickly as possible. And here comes the troops. Adam Bonowitz going to play quarterback for Knightstown. Number 61, Chris Tapp into the game. Number 78, Matt Stockton. Number 20, Brent Robertson. And let's see if we can get some more numbers for you here momentarily. They came out in a drove. Number 40, Josh Gross into the ball game. And we'll continue here right after the first play by Knightstown. Bonowitz takes a snap and has the football, and he's going to be sacked for a loss all the way back to the Knightstown 28. And that's kind of a rude way to welcome Mr. Bonowitz into the backfield, isn't it?
Jim Fulmer in on the stop for the Lapel Bulldogs.
Let's see, who else do we have in the game? Number 24, Clint Butcher is in. Number 30, Josh Trotman comes in. And it looks like number 67, Travis Spence, along the front line with Matt Stockton. So Knightstown having a whole new bunch of faces in. Down to a minute 42 to play. Bonowitz awaits the snap. Once again takes it, turns, hands off. Second man through. And the ball carrier, number 17, Garrett Guillaume.
Nice run there by Mr. Guillaume as he took it over the left side and into the secondary of the Lapel Bulldogs.
These are the future Knightstown Panthers right here, and they've got a bunch of good kids to build on. Excellent feeder program for Knightstown. Down to a minute 15, the clock continuing to run. 48-0, Panthers owning this one from the early outset. 3rd and 10. Guillaume long signal count out of the tee. Takes it, turns, rolls to the right on a quarterback keeper, turns the corner, good yardage, up to the 40-42 and stays on his feet to the 43-yard line. just shy of the first down. It's going to bring up a 4th and about 3. Nice run by Guillaume. Clock under a minute now, down to 40 and counting. And Knightstown's going to run another play, and here it comes with Josh Trotman bringing the play into Guillaume. And Knightstown's going to go for it on 4th and 1. They're going to have to hurry, though. Clock shows 26, 25 and counting. This one just about to be completed. 19 seconds. In motion comes Robertson. Guillaume looked like on a quarterback sneak, stays on his feet, breaks through across the 40. He's off to the races, down to the 30-yard line. Garrett Guillaume pops a big one.
That's Adam Bonowitz, isn't it?
Was it Bonowitz?
Yeah.
Okay.
Adam Bonowitz.
Bonowitz on the carry instead of Guillaume. Looked like we saw the 1 and the 7, so it was Bonowitz on an excellent play. 32-yard scamper by Bonowitz out of the backfield. They get the first down with 5 seconds to play, and they're not going to get time to get another play off. This one is academic. It's in the books. The game is over.
Knightstown handily taking it to the Lapel Bulldogs 48-0 here at the Knightstown Panther football field this evening, as a great night for them, and Ryan Johnson being carried by his faithful lineman Quiz and Travis Rivers out for the handshaking, as now they put Johnson down to see if he can walk. He's got the ice on the ankle, looks like, and Ryan Johnson making sure he gets out there on the congratulatory journey in the center of the field.
Well, Knightstown's going to have a week to prepare. Next week we go to Eastern Hancock, and that's not going to be a fun trip.
Well, it won't be. It's a little tight in that booth up there, but I'm sure that these Panthers are going to just look forward to playing Eastern Hancock, as they have every game this year, and they'll do their best to take it to them.
Well, we will see what happens. Knightstown going into the final game of the regular season. Knightstown now 8-0, and very much deserving of that number 2 ranking in Class A football. Number 2 behind Tri-West, and Tri-West is a team to be reckoned with. Very, very good football team. And Coach Woody Field circles his troops out around the 50-yard line, as does Coach Don Willard. And they will talk about some of the things that went on, and I imagine Coach Field is going to say something to the effect of, you ran into a very, very good football team tonight. Nothing to be ashamed of. You played hard. We gave it our all. We just came up a little bit short. And this is kind of a payback. Knightstown winning very, very by a slim margin last year, 16-14. They have a payback for the previous season, and of course that was a loss to Lapel, 16-10. So Knightstown kind of gets even.
Well, Knightstown playing excellent football this year from every aspect of football, whether it be the defensive side or the offensive side, able to take it to a team and just stay in and pound a team until they literally wear them down. And the great conditioning that they are in proves with every play that you see from about, the middle of the second quarter to the end of the fourth quarter when Knightstown plays football.
So Knightstown again being led by Ryan Johnson and Drew Crawford. Big night for both of these young men. Knightstown relying very heavily on the ground game. Ryan Johnson unofficially finishes with 17 carries for 125 yards. Drew Crawford, on the other hand, will try to get his total here in just a minute. Let's go ahead and take a 3-minute timeout. We'll come back with some final game stats, and we'll wait for the arrival of the man of the hour, Coach Don Willard, in the postgame show right here on Young Country 90.7 FM. Knightstown on top all over Lapel tonight, and it was all the Knightstown Panthers from the opening kickoff. They kind of changed the scheme of things a little bit. They took the opening kickoff instead of giving it to the other team, and it worked out well. They jumped on Lapel very, very fast. 14 points just like that before you knew it. They scored 35 in the first half and go on to a 48-0 victory to win and finally improve their record to 8-0 heading into the last week of the regular season.
Well, the Lapel Bulldogs started to bring it back at the middle of the second quarter, but I think they had the momentum going, but with the quarter running out, it took it out of them. They took it into the locker room, and it never came back out on the field.
Leading the way for Knightstown was Ryan Johnson. Unofficially, Ryan Johnson carried the football tonight 17 times for 125 yards. Drew Crawford had a big night as well, 12 for 85 yards, and Ian Hayes had 7 carries for 58 yards. Eric Scheinman tucked it up one time, one run for 5 yards. put the ball in the air tonight. Knightstown, not too bad. Eric Scheinman was 50% at halftime. He only put the ball up once after halftime. He was 4 of 9 for 58 yards. And Knightstown, something that has been a problem for the Panthers pretty much all season long, has been penalties, and Knightstown was only penalized twice for 10 yards in the ball game tonight.
You know, that makes a big difference, as we saw the difference between last week and this week just on those penalties alone. You got to keep that ball moving on. Along in the tackling department this evening, Ritchie had 7 tackles to lead the team. Brooks had 5. Rhodes had 5. A slew of those at 4. Quiz, Carmichael, Chapman, and then a lot of single tackles made out there also by the Knightstown Panthers, as defensively they seem to love to play defense as much as they do offense. They like the chance to be able to get that ball back or to do anything that they can to get the ball back into the offense's hands.
Knightstown having a very productive offensive side tonight, but also on the defensive side of things, Knightstown had a great big night from Craig Ritchie.
Well, they certainly did. Craig played a lot of different positions out there for him this evening. He went into that running back mode when Ryan Johnson came out, gained some nice yardage for the Panthers, as he is always capable to do as a receiver, but did it this evening as a running back. And once Johnson came out, although he is a great player, they were able to move some of the players around, and you didn't see the loss of the man there. You hate to see the kid get hurt, but they've got the backups to go different directions.
Well, Ryan Johnson's got a week to get healthy, and even if he doesn't get 100% healthy by next week, you could see Ryan Johnson rested. You know, it's something that Knightstown possibly can get by Eastern Hancock, although Eastern Hancock, very tough at home. Knightstown's had their problems over at Eastern many times, but Hayes and Crawford, and tonight we saw Craig Ritchie coming out of the backfield. Craig Ritchie carried the ball twice for 12 yards, so we know that he can do it, but whether they need him or not, I don't know. Kind of to recap the scoring for you, Knightstown scored very quickly in the first quarter at the 10:22 point, and a 4-yard run by Crawford, capped off by the point after by Plank. Also, Ian Hayes scored a 3-yard run with 7:50 to play in the first to make it 13-0. Plank added the extra point, 14-0, Knightstown. Eric Scheinman scored and struck quickly with 42 seconds left in the first half for a 10-yard pass to Craig Ritchie. The point after was good by Plank once again. Then to wind things up, we thought, Scheinman connects on a 33-yard strike to Josh Plank. And before you know it, Ryan Johnson scores for the 5th time in the first half of action from 6 yards out. 35-0, your halftime score. 2 scores in the second half, both by Drew Crawford on a 1-yard run at the 9:36 point in the fourth quarter. And the final score of the night went to Drew Crawford, 4-yard run. It's just Crawford this, Crawford that, Crawford this, Crawford that. 4 touchdowns on the night actually 3 touchdowns on the night for Drew Crawford, and Scheinman threw for 2 himself, so Knightstown goes on to a 48-0 win. It was a dandy, wasn't it?
Well, it certainly was, and it